All right, I'm here in NYC at Interop with Keith Pijanowski. Keith, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing very well. So now you work for Microsoft. Can you tell me what you really do at Microsoft?
Well, I work out of Microsoft's developer and platform evangelism team. I'm a platform strategy advisor, and I work with customers in the New York area. I've been working with Azure for the past year and a half, and basically just telling customers about what Azure is and how it could take cost out of their business and maybe make their software development lifecycle a little bit more agile.
Oh, very cool. So let's go with that. Azure, was it, so it's a platform as a service offering, but was it at one point also, were you thinking of also making infrastructure as a service, or was it always just platform as a service?
No, Azure was always a platform as a service.
Okay.
That is our vision. We want to build a very robust environment where you just have to worry about your intellectual property, or in other words, just your code. So, think of a developer inside Visual Studio. You just build your application, you create a package, and it's just that package with your code goes up to Azure, and all the services and resources and compute power that you need are in Azure, ready for you to use on demand, and you pay as you use.
Oh, cool. So now, as we're speaking here at Interop out in California, I guess Los Angeles is PDC, the Professional Developers Conference, and there's been a lot of news that's been coming out about the Azure timing. Can you talk about that?
So, as you know, yesterday was the official commercial launch of Azure. We announced it a year ago, and for a full year it was a technology preview that the community could go and experiment with. But as of yesterday, it is commercially available. Our bits are done. Our data centers are done, and it is ready to use. Now that being said, we are not going to charge customers for another 2 months. We're still going to give customers 2 months to experiment with Azure, free of cost, just to get used to what it means to run an application in a data center and get charged for usage. And the way that's going to work is we're going to have 1 month of just kind of general technology preview usage. But heading into the final free month, we are going to ask our customers for a credit card, and as they use their application for that final free month, at the end of that month, we will send them a $0 bill. They won't have to pay, but they'll see what their charges would have been for their application. So that's going to be important, because they'll be able to
budget against that?
They'll be able to budget against it and get a feel for what it means to be charged for how an application is used, and not necessarily what an application is running upon.
And so now the people that you've been working with as an evangelist here in the greater New York area, what are some of the types of people who are looking at this and that you've been presenting this to?
I think a lot of the customers first of all, everybody's interested in our story. And then I'd say just about every customer of Microsoft's in the New York metro area is interested in hearing our story. But then when you whittle that down, there are a few that are very serious about taking some cost out of their business. The typical scenarios are customers that have applications with very seasonal workloads. So think of a e-tailer who has an application that they run on the internet and it just gets hammered around the holiday seasons. Those are really good applications to run in Azure, because you can get resources on demand, maybe starting in October, and then if you need to, you can literally turn the application off maybe in January, and you only get charged for what you use when you use it.
So you're both developing and deploying in the cloud then, is that correct?
No, you develop with Azure. We give you the tools to develop on-premise.
Right.
We emulate the cloud environment on the developer's desktop. And then when you're ready to deploy, you can upload your code to the cloud and test it, and then eventually move it into a production environment.
Oh, okay. And so now where in the cloud would you upload it to?
You're going to use your Live ID that you get from Microsoft, right? And you'll create an account for yourself, and you'll get a portal, and you'll be able to manage all of your code and all of your storage areas that you set up via your portal.
Cool. And then what do you see adding to Azure as you go on over this next year? What are some of the functionality that you're looking to add?
So the big ones, today we are going to have SQL Azure. We're going to have a SQL Azure database in the cloud. This is a relational database only in the cloud. But over time, expect the SQL Azure brand to be built out. We are going to start unlocking some of the capabilities of SQL Server that customers are used to on-premise. And we'll have business intelligence in the cloud. We'll have reporting services in the cloud. We'll slowly start adding those capabilities that customers are used to on-premise. We'll start having those available in our cloud environment. That was just one example with SQL Azure. Another example is as the .NET Framework 4.0 becomes available, we will have a workflow service. So you'll be able to have workflow logic in our cloud. And we're also looking at a synchronization service, a SQL Azure Sync, which will help customers to have a database in the cloud and a database on-premise, and to keep those synchronized if they wish.
Oh, cool. So do a hybrid model.
Yeah,
yep.
And those are just examples. I mean, the list goes on and on. We just have a lot of capabilities that we will eventually put into the cloud.
Excellent. Well, Keith, thank you so much.
Thank you.